Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to show you how I created this abstract sunset beach design. This was my inspiration photo. I absolutely love the contrast of colors with that ivory white sand. These are the materials that I used, which I will link down below in the description box. These are the spray paints that I used, and we're going to start by laying down our spray paint base. I'm going to start with my darkest color first up here at the top, doing just about an inch or an inch and a half of that color. And then I'm going to move on to this beautiful purple from COLORSHOT. And once I've got that down, I'm going to go in with a pink, also from COLORSHOT. Right now I'm kind of just laying out the rough draft of my design, being mindful that I am going to be using 5 different colors for the base coat. You don't have to use so many colors, nor do you even have to take the time to do a spray painted base color. Just know that if you forego the spray paint for your base coat, you will see some of the silver underneath if the micas pull away from the top or bottom or separate at some point with your resin. I'm using this beautiful ivory white at the bottom, and then I'm going to transition the pink to the ivory white with this rustic pink. And I'll probably end up going over all these colors again. So once I have the kind of rough draft laid down of my color gradient, I'll go back over almost all the colors just to kind of clean it up. The second pass, I spray closer to the cup. So the closer we spray to the cup, the more narrow the fan of paint, the further away, the wider the fan of paint. And you'll notice I'm rapidly moving the spray paint as I'm spraying it so that we don't get any drips or puddles of paint. I'd also like to note that I am working in a very well ventilated area. This is a huge warehouse space where I've got the doors open and airflow going in and out. Normally I would spray in a spray booth, but I don't have one here yet, so just bear with me while I spray paint into my trash can. Anyway, as soon as that paint was dry to the touch, we're ready to start with our epoxy. I've got 60 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Artist Cure already mixed, and I'm going to apply about 15 to 20 milliliters of that onto my cup. We want to get a good, thin, even coat, just enough for our fingers to freely glide over the surface of the cup. This clear coat of epoxy will allow for our colorants to freely move once they're applied to the surface. I'm going to divide up the remaining amount of epoxy into, I think, 8 different medicine cups. I'm using a lot of colorants for this design. You definitely don't have to use as many as I did, but I think it created such a beautiful effect. I'm using this kind of violet, blue, purple shifty color, a raspberry kind of ultra shift mica. This is a kind of opal white mixed with a tan, very small amount of tan here. This is what's going to create that beautiful ivory sand color that I'm after. Remember that you can always add to, but you cannot take away with this stuff. So just add tiny bits at a time until you establish the color that you're looking for. I'm also going to make this beautiful kind of bubblegum pink, but it was a little too pink for what I was after, so I added some kind of like copper sparkly mica to it just to kind of dull that color a little bit. These are the glitters that I'm mixing up now. I want to say that 1 or 2 of these glitters, maybe all 3 are no longer available, but you guys, I have a lot of glitter that I need to use, and some of it's no longer available either because the company's gone out of business or they just don't make that color anymore. So as always, I will try to list comparable items that you guys can find that are available now. Anyway, once I got all my colorants mixed, I'm going to use the popsicle sticks that I use to stir my colorants, and I'm going to go in a side-to-side pattern, drizzling that colorant epoxy over our clear coat that we just applied that of course is still wet. And you'll notice I'm just really going side to side, not getting too much product onto the popsicle stick. I don't want to gloop and glob this on. I'm being patient with my strokes so that they're all pretty uniform in size. And I'm going to go down into the next color. And when I go into the next color, it's going to overlap the previous just a little bit. And I'm starting to get an idea of the spacing using the spray paint base coat that I had applied earlier. This is such a fun and easy technique that I think is pretty easy for all skill levels, but it creates such a beautiful effect, and you can use it in a variety of colorways. I'm moving on into the pink color now, and you'll notice every time I go for a new color, I kind of drag more of the previous color into it so that we get a little bit of blending with our gradient here. It's around this time that I noticed I wanted to pull all the colors a little lower because I had quite a large sand section. So I'm just pulling the previous color into the new color, trying to kind of bring it down and better space out between the colors. Finally, we moved on to the sand section. And you'll notice I am really uniform in my strokes. Again, still just going side by side and being patient with how long it takes to add the colorant onto my cup. I'm not getting impatient and glooping it on because I really want to have the blending and texture that I'm going to get from applying it this way. Once I got all my colorants added, I'm going to move on to the glitter that we had mixed into our epoxy. And I'm starting with this beautiful Resolutions color. This is like the most beautiful sparkly sand glitter I've ever seen. I'm so sad that it's no longer available. If you guys could find a similar comparison, make sure you tag it down below in the comments. Let me know what you think if you know of a similar glitter color, but oh gosh, it's so pretty. And I'm traipsing this through same way that I did the colorants. Obviously this is thicker, so I'm having to do a little bit thicker lines, and I'm being more conservative, only adding it here and there for like a pop of sparkle, still dragging it up into the previous color section for blending. And I moved on to this raspberry color. This is more of like a, I don't know if I would call this a glitter or more of like a large flake pigment. I did not like this one. In fact, I'm going to leave it out of the supply list because it's one of those kind of glitter additives that separated with the epoxy, so it didn't stay together in lines like I wanted to. It just kind of spread out, and I hated that. Not what I was going for at all. But anyway, on to my favorite purple glitter. This is Barney from Peachy Olive Glitters, and it was perfect for this project. However, I looked at their website and it's no longer available. So I will list comparable options. I think there's Beebop and Cherbear. Either one of those would be great. It's the same color, just different cuts, I believe. And then I'm moving on to this beautiful pink. This is Barbie, also from Peachy Olive Glitters. This one isn't available, but I will list a comparable one down below. And once we're done, I am not going to hit this with any heat. I'm just going to let it move the way it wants to. If you feel like you want to add a little bit of heat, you can hit it with your torch, but I really want to keep all those lines the way that they are. I let that dry for 10 to 12 hours before we moved on to the next step. Your dry times may vary based on the type and brand of epoxy that you're using. For the wave layer, I've mixed 60 milliliters of epoxy again, which was way too much. You could get away with like 30, but I want to do, actually no, I would say 40 to 50. You want to have more than enough. I'm applying about 15 to 20 milliliters for our clear coat here, and I would only recommend using Artist Cure for this step. Same with the last step, just because it took so long, you wanted to have plenty of playtime with those colorants. Fast Cure would not give you enough time because I really took my time putting all those little lines on. Once I got my clear coat spread on nice and thin, but thick enough for my finger to freely glide, I mixed up my white colorant for the waves. I'm just using white Vivid Dye for the waves here. People always like to recommend that I should have used something else, and then they never link what I should have used in the description box, and I can never find what they're talking about. I like the results that I get with this white Vivid Dye. I got it from Amazon. I think it works just fine. And if you've ever tried to make waves with a lot of cells and lacing on tumblers, you'll know that it's a lot more complicated and hard to do than to do it on a flat surface. So you're not going to get the same results as you would with a flat surface. I'm just going to tell you that. So here's the dye. You're going to put a pea-size amount in. I'll show you kind of what that looks like. You don't want to add too much, but you also don't want to have too little here. We want to get enough for solid saturation. I will say a little bit goes a long way. We're going to mix this in really, really well. And then I'm going to let all of this sit for 20 minutes. I didn't mean to wait that long. I actually forgot what I was doing and checked the clock and realized, oh my gosh, it's been 20 minutes. But that's fine. With this epoxy, depending on the temperature of your workspace, 20 minutes is probably ideal. At least 15 minutes. We really want that epoxy to set up to get maximum wave action, okay? So it's been 15 minutes. I've got my silicone brush tool. You can find these at FlynnSistersSupplyShop.com. And I want to have my cup turning towards me. And I'm going to pick up some product with that silicone brush tool, and I am just going to traipse it through, creating a wave shape. I'm letting the product kind of drop down from the tip of that brush tool onto my cup. I'm not painting through the clear epoxy, if that makes sense. Once I've got that line created, I'm going to go in with the clear epoxy that I had left over, using just a stainless steel stir stick that I have, and I'm going to duplicate the line right next to it, on top of it, okay, to the top, with the clear epoxy. This clear line of epoxy is going to give something for that white epoxy to skip over and create more wave action, okay? So once I've got that on there, I'm going to get my heat gun with the little graduated spout attachment, I don't know, the funnel attachment thing, and I am going to hit this at medium-high heat on the highest blow setting, and we're just going to blow those waves with the heat gun kind of sitting as flat against the cup as possible so that we can get it to blow in the right direction. And you'll notice I'm holding the heat gun on each section for just a small amount of time. And I'm moving the cup with my hand. At this point, I'm not using my cup turner. I turned it off for that process. You'll see that I've got a lot of extra product that I don't need here, so I'm going to go ahead and scoop that out with a flat silicone brush tool, or a gloved finger would be just fine. Up around the top, it got a little hazy, so I'm just going to remove that with a gloved hand. And if you've ever experienced your cells and lacing disappearing with your tumbler after you've created it, because it all just kind of pulls back down into itself, maybe try waiting longer before you do this so that you're kind of reaching the end of the pot life with your epoxy so that it really does stay put once you get the movement that you're looking for. I'm going to repeat that same process for my second line of waves here through the center. Again, just traipsing a line all the way through and then repeating that line just above the top of it with clear epoxy, and then going around with my heat gun with the same technique, scooping out any unwanted bits with a gloved finger or silicone brush tool. Finally, for the bottom, I went a little more heavy-handed in spots and even made like double white lines, because this will be, I guess, our shoreline. So I wanted to create something a little bit more dramatic down here. And then again, just following that same process, went back in with the clear epoxy after creating our white line, and then hit it with our heat gun. Finally, I'm going to go in with the silicone brush tool and the remainder of our white epoxy and just kind of add in a little bit of detail to our waves, kind of using a swirly whirly, that's the technical term, swirly whirly pattern technique here, just to kind of shore them up and make them look a little neater. At this time, I also edited out any unwanted bits from our colorants that I didn't like. If there was like too heavy-handed on a wave section, I just scooped it out with a gloved finger. I'm going to let this dry for about 10 to 12 hours before we move on to the next step. Super happy with where we're at. This is what it looks like once it was dry. I'm going to go around my top rim with a sanding block. This is, I believe, an 80 grit sanding block. You can use anything between 60 to 220 grit. And I'm just going to sand around the top rim to expose a fine line of stainless steel. This fine line of stainless steel is where final coats of epoxy will adhere to create the final seal for our tumbler on the outer rim rather than the very top rim where it's more vulnerable. Down along the bottom rim, you'll notice I didn't have the bottom taped off for any other step other than when we were adding the spray paint and the colorants. When I did the waves, I didn't have it taped off along the bottom. I just wiped off the excess. Once I was done with my sanding, I'm just going to clean this up with some rubbing alcohol and paper towels. And now we're ready for our final coats. Before I apply my final coat, I'm going to hit this with a tack cloth really quick to remove any debris. And I've got 30 milliliters of my Flynn Sisters Artist Cure epoxy. And I'm going to add a thicker coat than what I normally would for a final coat. There will be a lot of peaks and valleys at this point from all the colorants that we used, especially with the heavy-handedness we did on the waves in adding the line of clear epoxy. So you will notice some wavy bits, and that's perfectly normal. Totally okay. It's going to self-level out with this thick coat that we're applying here. So I've mixed 30 milliliters. I think I ended up using about 25 almost, which is a lot for a 20-ounce tumbler when you're just doing a final coat. But that's okay. It's going to level everything out pretty nicely for us. Once I've got this smoothed on, I'm going to clean up my bottom and any excess epoxy with some rubbing alcohol and a paper towel. Then I'm going to hit this with my torch to pop any bubbles. And I'm going to let this dry for at least 10 to 12 hours, and then I'll show you the finished product. Love how this turned out. So here she is, all finished up. Let me know what you guys thought about this one in the comments, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every week. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again soon. If you love this video, you could check out our last video here. Also be sure to find us on Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, and of course subscribe for all our new videos that come out every Wednesday and Saturday. Thanks so much for watching. See you soon.